Alright, what is good? It's your boy Shimmy back with another video. Yes, we're dropping bangers all December. Today we got Reincarnated as a slime. Apparently this is the best isekai. So lock the f in. Yes you, yes your dog. Now let's get into it. Boom, we start with our main character, Mikami Sotoru, walking on the street. He works a regular job and he's 37. That's actually unheard of in anime. He meets with his work homie and then a guy with a knife comes running straight at him. So he pushes his homie out the way, but he gets stabbed instead. Nah, this is actually crazy. Dying at 37 years of age and getting no gal, you need to get reincarnated at that point. Now while he's dying, he starts getting all these notifications like stab resistance acquired, pain nullification acquired. The hell is going on? In his dying words, he tells his homie, hey, take that hard drive out my house and delete everything.
What do you mean by
Okay,
that?
Maybe he actually did need to die. He closes his eyes and he wakes up, but he has no senses. He's like, where the hell am I right now? Bro's like, does my mouth even work? And it doesn't. And he figures out he's actually a slime. He's basically Ditto, if you know, you know. And he's in this big ass cave. He starts eating plants and the voice from earlier comes again and says they're the great sage and it can help him with almost anything he needs. Basically this is Jarvis. Also he gets a skill called Predator and with that skill he can ingest things and after a while he can mimic them too. Now he's broken. But then he just hears someone say, can you hear me little one? Huh? You can hear me? Answer me. Hey, don't talk to me like that. But it turns out to be a dragon and it roars. Yeah, GG's. I was trying to be nice, but you really want to die. We see him and he's the storm dragon Veldora, one of the only 4 top dog dragons in the world. He tells the slime 300 years ago he turned the town into ashes by accident, but a hero pulled up and sealed him away, and he's been here the whole time. He ain't met nobody, no dragon buns. The slime says, damn, you trying to be my friend then? Me friends with a low-level slime? You know what, fine. And they become friends. We learn if he doesn't get released soon, he'll die. Great Sage says, yo, if you can analyze his seal from the inside and outside, you can probably get rid of it. So the man says, you trying to get in my stomach? While I try to figure it out, you'll be safe in there. And the dragon says, okay, let's do it. You're still a nameless monster though, so let me give you a name. He calls the dragon Tempest and he's named Rimuru Tempest. With that, he goes and eats Veldora. Now we cut to this kingdom and they hear about Veldora's disappearance. So they send the man them to go in there and investigate. Back to Rimuru, who's going around the cave, but then a snake appears. So the man jumps and uses water slash and then eats it? Something's not right about this. But he kills and destroys more monsters in the cave and gets to the door. It finally opens. And it's the humans from before. They say, no one's been in here for 300 years. But since the door's open, Rimuru escapes outside and he runs into these little scrawny ass goblins. They ain't on shit. They need to be on a cycle or something. Anything is possible. Rimuru says, how y'all doing? I'm Rimuru. They say they sensed a powerful monster and came here. They take him to their lair and the elder says, we got a problem. We got monsters attacking us. Can you protect us, please? Me? I ain't that strong though. Don't lie, we can feel your presence. But it's because he ate Veldora, so they feel his presence. He's stealing aura right now. He says, aight, who are the ops? We learned there's 100 dire wolves and they've been attacking them every day. The goblins only got about 60 people who can fight too, so they're cooked. Rimuru ain't doing this for free though. He says, what do I get in return for this? Shit, in return? We'll give you loyalty and ice spice and lotto tickets. Then the dire wolves appear again. The goblins fight some, but they get packed up bad. And Rimuru goes in and heals them one by one. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this is who I need for Elden Rings. To this day, I still haven't beat it. His first order of business is to build a fence to stop these dumbass wolves. We move to this wolf and he says, Veldora's gone, it's our time to shine. We're gonna rule this forest. They go in charging to end the goblin village, but they see these fences. Rimuru says, dogs, get out of here, I promise you don't want this smoke. They don't listen and they charge in. But the goblins start shooting them with fire arrows one by one. And they get hit by these threads? Hold on, Dofi? The main dog goes in ready to eat Rimuru, but he just gets caught in the air and Rimuru uses water blade and takes bro's head off. He goes to the other wolves and says, y'all can either submit or die, what you wanna do? And he eats the pops right in front of them? Is he sick or twisted? Then he turns into a wolf and howls. After that, they decide to yield. They don't want no smoke. With that, the goblins celebrate and this Rimuru guy really got the ops standing together. This is what needs to happen with OTF and 4K trade. Then Rimuru names them all. And shout out my dog Gonzo. I know he's gonna be a Gyalis in the future. but he used too much mana naming them and he goes into sleep mode. He wakes up and everybody's changed? We see the village elder? Who the hell is that? That is not the same guy. But basically when you get a name, your stats increase. Even this wolf changes too, it gets a horn. And then Rimuru leaves to go meet the dwarves because they might be able to help him out. Now they get to the dwarf entrance and only Rimuru and Gob to go. In line, these guys see them and they're like, hold on, monsters? We can kill them, let's XP farm. But Rimuru says, I wouldn't try that, and he transforms. They still attack him anyway, but that don't work. And the man uses Intimidator Hall of Fame, knocking them out. The guards see this and they instantly throw them in prison, but he gives them healing potions, so they let him go meet the blacksmith. We meet this old guy and Rimuru says, yo broski, can you help me out? I got this small village, but he's backed up right now. There might be a war coming. So Rimuru drops a magic stone and says, how about now? Shit, since we're dogs, whatever you need, I got you. These four even go to a club together? Like, I always knew this was the type of guy you were, Rimuru. While he's there, one of the elves looks into his future and we see some girl. Apparently that's who he's supposed to be with. But then the minister comes in and he's like, is that a slime in here? That lowly creature? And he pours the drinks on him. Kaijin ain't allowing that though, so he gives him a rude punch, knocking him out. But in turn, they all get put in jail and they're going on trial, no law and order. We move to the courtroom and the king appears. And our attorney says, yeah, these guys, they're guilty. Guilty as hell. Get them out of here. Bro's been bribed. But the king says, you know what? Y'all are good, but you ain't allowed to come back here. You're banished. The king goes and tells this girl, hey, go watch that slime for me. Make sure we can trust him. Now the three adventurers from earlier return to their kingdom and they tell this guy, yeah, we ain't seen nothing in that cave. But he's not satisfied. He says, go search every nook and cranny of that forest. We gotta find out where Veldora is. They leave and this girl with a mask on runs into them. She says, you think I could come with y'all to the Great Forest? They say sure, and we find out her name is Shizu. Y'all don't find that suspicious? Just me? Okay. Back to Rimuru. Him and the dwarf brothers start planning and making their village into a real village. Then they hear word that humans are in the forest. Back to them, they're running from this ant. Hold on, Biru? Then Shizu turns around, puts her sword on fire, and does a fire blast. What the? Then she goes and takes all the ants out. Shit, where the f was she for Jeju Island? But it ain't over yet. One gets up and goes to eat her, and something happens. She falls to the ground. It's looking grim, but black lightning comes and strikes it. They're all like, who the f just did that? But they just see Rimuru, and this is the shorty who he's destined to be with. Rimuru asks them, so why are y'all here in the first place? And the leader tells them the guild master asked them to investigate to see Wagwan here. Now he goes to spit game to Shizu and we find out she's also from Japan. She wasn't reincarnated like Rimuru, she was actually summoned at a young age. Then he uses thought communication to show her the real world. And she sees how it is. I can't lie, this was a great play. We go into her past and bombs and shit starts dropping everywhere and she gets hit bad. She wakes up and there's some Alucard looking guy here and he says she might be useful, she can probably use fire. Yo Ifrit, I offer her body to you? Huh? You put a demon in this child's body? Rimuru better go smoke that guy.
Somebody go smoke that, you.
This Alucard guy looks and makes her fight the bird from Sonic. If you know, you know. She puts her hands up and burns the man. Turned him into Popeyes. Hey, what's your name? Shizue. I bet today you're gonna be known as Shizu. Like, okay, why'd you even ask? But this guy is actually evil. She makes friends with a girl and this fox and they go into the castle. The demon lord sees them and he makes her burn them both? What is wrong with this guy? Then she wakes up, she's still feeling her curse. She says her goodbyes and tells everyone this is her last journey. On her way to leave though, she falls to the ground and fire goes everywhere. The adventurers are like, "Blood, ain't that the hero from 50 years ago? Ain't she retired?" So she's a gilf. Then she transforms into the fire spirit Ifrit. The adventurers are like, we're dead ass about to die, we're cooked. And Ifrit starts making fire towers everywhere and spawning demons that fly and drop fire particles. Like, okay. Ifrit throws a fireball at Rimuru, but he dodges. Then this girl starts shooting him with ice attacks. Rimuru hops on Ragna, dodging and running, and he bags the ice is actually hurting them. So he makes sure to shoot him with the ice so he can use it. He eats the ice, then he puts the icicles all around the demons and packs them up. But this last one says, oh word, you're trying to stop us? Try stopping this. And it does a kamikaze. They survive, but Rimuru tells Ragna to get the adventurers out of here. So he's going mano a mano with the fire spirit. And the man uses shadow clone jutsu and makes 20 more of him, and they surround Rimuru. but he spins and hits them all with an ice beam. Ifrit ain't going out like that though. He puts the man in a flare circle, burning him. Then the gods of plot armor shine down. Because he has flame resistance, that ain't do shit to him. He ties Ifrit up and says, it's my turn. He uses Predator and eats him. Inside Rimuru's belly, Ifrit's like, this, I'm getting out of here. He starts blasting everywhere, but Veldora says, what you think you're doing, boy? Now Shizu tells Rimuru her backstory and how she had students who are also otherworlders. But since she's gotten old, she couldn't suppress Ifrit anymore. She says, eat me.
What do you mean by that?
What type of freak shit is she on? She says she dislikes this world and doesn't want to be absorbed by it. It's her final wish. He says fine, and she turns all old and gray and he eats her. The Mandem open up the door and they see some blue-haired kid, and Rimuru's crying. With that, the adventurers say it's time for us to go. They hug Rimuru and thank Shizu and they leave. Now it's the next day and Rimuru's testing out his new body. He even made an older Gyal version of himself. Yeah, it's always guys like him. He also gets a new power too, Black Flame, which is broken. But with the mask he got, he can suppress his aura. So he's just a regular human. Then he gets a call from Ragna. We see Gobta get cut and Rimuru finds him. Twin, what happened? Then we see these two and we also see Ragna fighting these other two. He goes in, but a wall of flames appear. Are these guys getting jumped? We learn the people they're facing are ogres. Rimuru says, yo, my bad for what happened. Can we talk this out? But they don't say shit. They finally speak and say, show us who you really are, evil Majin. Slaving monsters? Who the hell are you really? Rimuru says, alright, Ragna, you take that pink-haired one, I got the rest. The red one says, this underestimating us. He goes in quick with a slash, but Rimuru's gone. He goes to the big, hits him with paralysis. Ogre Gale tries to get him from behind, but he says, I already saw you, and wraps her up with string. Next one tries to hit him in the face, but Rimuru uses body armor, breaks his sword. When did he even get that? And he gives him a rude liver shot, sending him flying. Now it's just 2 niggas left. Hey, you seen what I did to your homies? What you wanna do? The old man says, I know all those skills, boy. Hey, be on your guard, he may have more hidden skills. The old man goes right behind him and cuts his arm off. Damn, I thought I got your head. Yeah, see, rule number 1 is never f with the G-Sans in anime. They're always crazy. The red-haired one says, alright, prepare to die. But Rimuru just picks his arm up and puts it back on. You think you beat me with just that? He traps him with Ogre Fire, but Rimuru aura farms and walks out. Fire don't got no effect on me. Let me get serious then. And he makes this black tornado. I'll show you something even stronger. He uses black lightning and destroys this rock. They still ain't backing down though. The Ogre Gal says, okay, wait, hold on. This guy might not be our enemy. Nah, he is. We gotta pack him. Okay, but just think about it. The man could have killed us himself. Why would he send orcs to do it? Then they're like, shit, you right. They hear out Rimuru and he says, gang, I'm just a slime. I'm not on no badness. And with that, they apologize and go to the village. We hear from them. Late at night, arrows started hitting their village, and the orcs ran in wearing armor, and among them was a masked Majin. All this Majin talk, we talking about Boo and them? But only 6 of his homies are still alive. Yeah, I can't lie, you need to get your get back. The ops are up 294 to 0. Rimuru says, why don't you guys just become my subordinates? I can pay you and even give you food. I won't abandon the Mandem either. Then the red ogre goes into the forest alone. He's like, damn, if only I wasn't weak. If only I was the protagonist. Now it's the next day. He goes to see Rimuru and he says, can our offer last until the orcs are dead? Sure, twin, I don't mind. He says he will serve Rimuru. Rimuru's about to give them all names, but he falls asleep. He wakes up and we see the leader evolved into a Kijin, and his name is Benimaru. Okay, there's Shuna, Shion, Jisan, that's his name, I don't know any other name, and Soe. But then we just see an army of orcs marching, and they're about to attack the lizard people with 200,000 people. The lizard leader says, only way those dumbass pigs are moving is if there's a legendary orc lord with them. If he's really alive, we're probably not winning. We cut back to Rimuru's village and the old man is teaching the goblins to fight. But to be honest, he's actually just beating them. And we get a report. The lizard men are going to other villages asking for backup. They get 7,000 goblins so far. Their next stop is to go see Rimuru and them. And they heard a slime was ruling goblins. Now they get to the gates and Gabiru comes walking down. He jumps off and says, you will serve under me, consider this an honor. Everyone's like, yo, what's this guy talking about? Listen, you heard about them orcs? You weaklings should join me. Then he's like, hold on, I don't see any goblins here, what's going on? Hey, bring your top dogs to me right now. Benimaru says, can I kill him? Yeah, sure. But they drag Gobta into a 1v1 against Gabiru. Gobta throws a spear, disappears in a shadow, and kicks him in the back, knocking him down. Blood? I didn't know my dog Gobta was really like that. Now the other lizard men take him away and say this ain't over. Now we cut inside and they're having a meeting, but one of this guy's doubles encounters someone and it's a dryad. She shows up and she says, "My name's Trainee, I need a favor. Can you defeat this orc lord?" Benimaru says, "Nah, why did you come here? There's stronger races you could have went to." She says, "You right, but Rimuru's in a league of his own." They continue their meeting and we learn the orc lord has a unique skill called Starve. And it eats corpses to get more power? Yeah, he needs to go. And when he does eat people, he steals their power too. But Imagine is indeed helping the orcs do their shit right now. With that, they agree to go fight. The battle's gonna be in the marshland, and Soe teleports to go talk to the leader. Now Gabiru and the Mandem are chilling, but this clown Lapis shows up. He says, "Yo, I've come to give you a warning. The orcs are being led by the orc lord. Don't you think you should take over for the lizard men?" And this guy says, "You know what, you're right, let me go do that." Dumbass lizard, bro. He goes back to the lizard land and overthrows his pops, and then he gets ready for battle. The orcs start attacking and Gabiru defeats them, but he just sees them eating their own homies and then they get stronger. They start surrounding him, and Gabiru's like, "What the hell is going on here?" Then this big ass orc arrives. He says, "Oh, you're the orc lord? Let's scrap." "Nah, I ain't no orc lord, I'm just a general." We cut to Trainee, and she finds Lapis and Gelmud. She says, "I'm kicking you guys out of here." And she attacks and cuts the man's arm off, but they end up escaping. Back to Gabiru, the orc is dead trying to eat him. He sends out an attack, but then Gobta comes and saves him. "Listen, I'm gonna tell you this once. You don't wanna f with Tempest and Rimuru." The orc says, "I don't care about no Rimuru. Y'all are dying." But then a bunch of blasts start hitting all over, and the Mandem show up. They're here to get their get back. And the attacks are Benimaru? I'm not gonna lie, I thought that was Rimuru. We move to Ragna, and the man starts bringing down twisters and using black lightning to fry these orcs. And he gets another horn. Ji-san goes in aura farming and cuts this whole group. They go to attack Shion and she just swings and the blast starts packing them up. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, they're moving like the 2018 Golden State Warriors. Lord Gelman sees this and he starts crashing out. He says, "If this keeps up, I'll be killed by him." He comes crashing down and says, "You bums are ruining Lord Gelman's plans. A new demon lord was supposed to be born." And he shoots Gabiru and them. Thank God, I can't lie, they needed to go. He goes to finish them, but Rimuru pulls up and blocks it. "Is that all you can do? You ain't none special." "Shit, you wanna join my side then?" And Rimuru gives him a rude tongue. The man runs to the orc lord and says, "Gang, please, help me, I gave you a name." The orc says, "Oh, word?" and cuts his head off. Yeah, there's no loyalty in this club. He ain't done though, he goes and eats him after. What is with all this eating? But since he ate him, he becomes a demon lord, the orc level disaster. Ji-san goes and cuts him, but he just grabs his head and puts it back on. Benimaru sets the man on fire and Ragna hits him with thunder, but he survives and eats his homies to get his strength back. Rimuru walks in and says, "I got something for you, boy." And he goes into auto combat mode. Nah, you're telling me he's got all these broken powers and he can do this too? This is crazy. He goes in, cuts his arm off and breaks his sword, but the orc grabs him. Rimuru was ready for this though. He uses flare circle on him and burns him, trying to make some smoked ribs. Then all we hear is the orc laughing. He's flame resistant. So he says, "Alright, Grey Sage, I got this. We're about to have an eater battle. I'm the biggest eater." He starts going all over him and he eats him? Yeah, rip Bozo. Now we have a meeting with all the monsters and Rimuru says, "I'm not gonna charge the orcs with anything." Huh? I personally would have sentenced them to the barbecue, but instead he's gonna make them do all the grunt work. This is the start of the Great Jura Alliance. He goes to the orc's son and gives him a name, but he also gives him the same name as his dad, like you couldn't give him another name. We cut to Laplas and he's sitting here with this guy. "Damn, you went through all that trouble and there was no Demon King, eh? You pissed?" "I am, but it's calm." "What should I do about that slime though?" And we learn this is Demon Lord Clayman. Back to the village, we just see a bunch of guys on Pegasuses pull up, and it's the king of the dwarves. He gets off and he says, "I'm here to see who you truly are, slime." And of course they have to fight to test this. Rimuru goes in, he gets hit away. The king uses thunder of heaven and earth, disappears, swings. But Rimuru was ready for this, he blocked it. He says, "Bloodcleat, you blocked my attack? Okay, you win. You not evil." They go and eat together and he says, "Yo, you wanna enter a treaty with me?" "Shit, let's do it." And their nation is called Jura Tempest Federation. Now we cut to these four meeting and this Milim girl says, "I'ma go investigate this toy myself." Clayman says, nah, we can't do that. We have a non-aggression pact with the forest. Listen, Veldora's gone, I'ma do what I want. Now, back to the village. Rimuru just senses something with crazy power coming straight for them, and it crash lands. It's Demon Lord Milim. Hey, I heard you was the strongest. I came to introduce myself. Then out of nowhere, the Mandem show up. Shion goes to attack, but she just grabs her sword and throws her. Soe ties her up, and Benny burns her. She just laughs and says, maybe if I was another Demon Lord, that would have worked, but that won't do shit to me. And she just blasts her aura, hurting them all. Rimuru says, alright, let me handle this. Since you're so confident in your fighting ability, come take one of my attacks. And he goes in and feeds her honey. She's like, that shit tastes good, what was that? If you give me that, I'll call the fight a draw. I won't bother you guys again. Rimuru says, say no more, and gives her a jar of honey. And Shorty decides to stay in Tempest and live there. Now they have a problem though, because they became friends, the other demon lords would think he formed an alliance with her. And that's a no bueno. It's the next day and they're making new potions, but there's an explosion. Rimuru goes and looks and he just sees Rigurd's face like this? The hell, Two-Face? And we learn these guys are with Demon Lord Carrion. But after seeing them attack Rigurd, Milim went in and gave him a rude thump, knocking him out. They go meet with them and Rimuru says, what the hell are y'all here for? You think I'm answering you, Slime? Rimuru says, don't test me, I'm stronger than you, boy. Apparently, Demon Lord Carrion ordered him to scout out some Majin. But Rimuru says, okay bet, you can leave now though. Now Milim tells Rimuru, her, Frey, Carrion, and Claymon use Gelman to make the Orc Demon Lord for fun. I mean, I guess they are Demon Lords, so why not? After that, the Felmund Kingdom comes to visit, and Rimuru plans to make them the champions who took out the Orcs, and they only helped out so that the humans trust them more. We cut to the forest, and this guy is pissed because he got humiliated. Then Footman appears. He says, yo, wagwan, bro. We heard you're angry, we might be able to help you out. Shorty says, you want to defeat Milim, right? Just become a demon lord then. If you had Charybdis' power, could win. But that's only if you want to win though. Maybe you like losing. That was W instigation. Phobio says, fine, I want to. Tell me how to do it. They go to its cave where it's sealed and the mask guy tells him, you gotta let Charybdis into your body. And then you'll get his power. He says, shit, alright, and he walks in. They're like, that dumbass really went in. We done now, let's cut. Back to Tempest, another dryad shows up and she says, we got a problem. The calamity level monster Charybdis is revived. My system went to stop it, but she's no match. And to make matters worse, it's coming straight for this land. And we learn it's Veldora's child? What the? That dragon's moving like my homeboy, cracking anything. But the monster doesn't come alone. It brings megalodons on its rampage too? Now what the actual hell is that? We just see them flying in the sky, but all the Mandem get ready for battle. The Dwarf King even sends 100 Pegasus Knights to fight too. Benimaru goes in, uses Hell Flame, and burns one to the ground. One is flying across the ground and Geld goes in and stops it. The other orcs try to jump it, but they all get hit away. Then Gabiru comes in and finishes it off. We move to the ninjas and Soe uses his threads to make it attack another one. Ragna and Shion see this and they go in and cut this one in half. I'm not gonna lie, this is the type of shit you see in Food Wars. Now all that's left is Charybdis. The Mandem start attacking, but nothing is even affecting it. The Pegasus Knight says, get away from it, and its scales come off and start attacking them. And we just look and see that face. Yeah, that thing is ugly. Veldora's a dirty dog. But Rimuru says, what are y'all doing? Rely on me. And he devours and starts eating all the scales. Rimuru goes in and blasts it, but it blasts right back. It's destroying the forest. The Great Sage tells him it has ultra speed regeneration. All the Mandem go all out attacking, but it still don't even get injured. This is crazy. Then Charybdis says, fuck you, Milim. Milim? So Rimuru goes and flies all the way to Milim. He says, yeah, so that over there, he's actually after you, so can you go fight him? She goes and says, say no more, let me show you something. She stops all the scales with her hand and they fall to the ground. She uses Dragon Buster and just blows it up. Then Phobio comes out. He's burnt to Ross. Rimuru heals him and they say, how the f did you even know where Charybdis is? Well, this clown told me and they're a part of the Harley Quinn alliance. Milim says, alright, you good, twin, we forgive you. You good with that, Carrion? And he just shows up. Yo, thanks for sparing my homie. And he hits him in the ground. Listen, if you need anything else in the future, I'll help you. Shit, how about going into a non-aggression pact with me? Just like that, he got 2 out of the 4 demon lords on his side. With that, the town gets even more developed. They're moving like Lloyd. But Rimuru's going to the kingdom of Agracia to go see these youths that Shizu instructed. He gets there in 3 days, puts on his mask, and gets in. That's horrible security, by the way. He's in this building and he gets in this room. Then he meets the Grand Master. His name is Yuki. He looks at Rimuru and he says, hold on, that's Shizu's mask. Where you get that from? He goes in straight and kicks him, but Rimuru blocks. He says, calm down, kid. I'm not a bad slime. And he begs that he's not a bad person. Bro says, okay, so what brings you here? You trying to go home? Nah, I'm probably already dead if I'm being real. I'm trying to help the students from the academy. Let me become a teacher. But we learn all summon kids die after 5 years. Rimuru's gonna try to save them though, cause that's what Shizu wanted. He walks in the class and this kid shoots a fire attack at him. What the? After chilling with them for a bit, he comes up with a plan to put superior spirits in their bodies so maybe they'll live long, just like how Shizu had one. They get to the entrance of this Liberath and he says, y'all might not come out alive from this. Like, okay, I just begged, he's bringing children into here. They get in and just hear people laughing. Fear us, intruders. Rimuru's like, can we talk to a superior spirit or no? Sure you can. But before that, there's a test for you. They just see this path light up. They follow it, and then this area changes. And a pink robot shows up. The voice says, this is your test. It goes punching at Rimuru, but he dodges. He's like, what the hell do I even use against this thing? Lightning ain't gonna work. My sword won't work. But then he bags it. He says, if you don't apologize now, I'ma destroy this thing. He goes in, jumps over it, ties it up with the threads, and throws hellfire at it, burning it. Hey, if you don't want me to burn this place down, you better show yourself. Then this little fairy appears. Her name is Ramris, and she's one of the demon lords too? Damn, there's more? Rimuru's like, ain't no way a little youth like you is a demon lord. Now her and Rimuru talk and he explains everything with the kids. We also learn she was the queen of spirits at one point, but she fell from grace. That Leon guy did too. That's our op, by the way. She takes them to the place where they can summon the superior spirits, and this kid goes first. He tries summoning, but he only sees inferior ones. Rimuru's like, alright bet, let me cook here. He eats all the inferior ones and makes a superior one and grants it to the kid. He does that for every other kid, but for this last one, this old girl spirit comes in and kisses him? What is going on here? But with that, the destruction has stopped and he leaves the place. Then we cut to this guy holding a ball. He says, finally summoned me, but my own family went ahead of me? I know you'll lead this world, and he starts laughing. Rimuru's riding home and somebody's watching him. Now we go in the past and we see the same demon get summoned by this girl. He says, oh, you just want me to take out the ops? Say no more. Now we cut to Shizu, and she got a request to visit this castle. The king gathered all these forces here and says, yeah, our strongest forces, they're dead, but their bodies got eaten too. Some mandem hear this and they say, nah, we not about to do this. They try to leave, but the guards are not letting them. This guy tries to leave anyway, but then they just kill him and a demon comes out. Basically, they gathered them here because some of them might be possessed. Then all we hear is laughing. This guy says, I'm not gonna cooperate, so you gonna kill me too? They pull their swords out ready to fight, and Shizu already knows he's a serious guy, so she gets in the way. She's like, I'm not letting you destroy everything here. He not taking that though, so he throws fire at her. But we know fire don't do shit. Fine, I'll play with you for a little bit. She goes in swinging, but he dodges everything and hits her away with his claws. She's trying her best, but the man is still just laughing. They do a big clash and he says, who I am is not none of your business, shorty. She gets serious, uses Inferno Flame, but he blocks it with his wings. He says, alright bet, let me get serious. He speed blitzes towards her. He gets blasted away and his arm comes off. Basically, her mask can suppress time. What the? She's broken. But after that, the man disappears. Now the king asks to see her in his underground lair. What type of demonic shit is this? Then this guy sits in the middle. He says, his name is Orthos and they're gonna sacrifice her while she's weak. And the man tells her he's gonna suck her blood and devour her flesh? Yeah, end him. She pulls out her sword and goes to stab him, but he just grabs the sword. You're not escaping here. And he gives her a rude liver shot, sending her away. He goes and chokes her and she's about to just let Ifrit go rampant. But the demon from before comes back. He says, no way the shorty who caused me pain is about to get cooked by this bum. And we see he has all these knights' heads in his hand and drops them. The minister and king said, nah, you not really on shit, you're about to die. He just goes and kills them both. The main guy says, hold on, you think you can defeat me? A lower demon like you? And he just starts choking him. You don't deserve to live. And he ends him. After that, he tells Shizu, I won't target you again. Alright, that's all for this video. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know what you think about Reincarnated as a slime. Let me know if you want season 2 because I can get on that anytime. Yeah, appreciate all the love and support. Yesterday we dropped Fallout season 1, so go check that out on the second channel. Link is in the bio. And last week we dropped Noragami, so also go check that one out too for your boy. And yeah, let me know how you're feeling about these long videos. Keep dropping those suggestions because I'm gonna keep looking at them. I think next week we may do season 2, depending on how you guys feel about slime, or I don't even know. I actually don't know. I'm gonna do a poll, honestly. Maybe Overlord. Might have to do a look of 1-2 Overlord for next week, and then yeah, we'll go from there. 4th quarter. Appreciate all y'all boys and girls. I'm catch y'all in the next video. Peace.